All right, everybody, how you doing? Glad to have you with us. It looks like for some crazy reason my camera is not looking good. So let me fix that real quick. I had looked at it earlier, but it looks like it did not adjust properly. Well, that's worse. Let's go for 6. All right, can you guys see me okay? How's everybody doing? How is the audio going based upon last week's? We had some audio issues, so I want to make sure you can hear me loud and clear. Please put it in the comments. Let me know you can hear me and things are coming across well. I really appreciate your comments. I appreciate so many of you that are here today already with us. As you're logging in, please give us your name and where you're investing. Shannon, thanks for being with us. Who else we got here? Frozelha. Am I saying that right? Thanks for being with us from Dallas, Texas. Let's see here. Vasta, thanks for being with us. Timothy, thanks for being here. Nick Saitone, it looks like number 1 in there, so I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Oscar, thanks for being with us. Current member, thanks for being a member, Oscar. Really appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about some super fun stuff. How to find off-market properties. If you are investing in real estate or trying to get started in investing in real estate, the days have changed. It used to be 20 years ago, you could go on the MLS and find a property. You'd have to fight with a lot of other people, but you could find one, fix it up, and sell it and make a profit by selling it on the MLS. Those days are gone. Occasionally you can find a deal, but you shouldn't be planning on that. The way you're going to find properties is what's called off-market properties. We're going to get into that in quite a bit of detail. So what you're going to learn today is what off-market properties are and why it really matters. My favorite ways to find off-market properties, I'm going to share these with you. I'm going to show you how to get phone numbers for owners that you cannot find, owners that you're going to have a hard time getting involved. And then ways to contact sellers of off-market properties, okay? How you can actually get in contact with those sellers. We're going to go over that. But before I do, a couple other shout-outs here. Lisa, thanks for being with us. Let's see here. Anthony, thanks for being with us. Good to see you again. What is this, week 4 you've been with us? That's awesome. Kendall from Chicago, thanks for being with us. TJ, let's see. TJ, ex-member, probably not getting back in. Maybe we can convince you otherwise, or we can add enough value for you here, CJ. Hope we can be helpful. Let's see. Nicholas from Philadelphia. It's pronounced Nix1. Is that a company name? Or anyway, I'd be interested to know. Martin, hi. I've not started a deal yet. Connected today. Fantastic. Glad to have you with us, Martin. So many of you with us. Super excited. This show's for entertainment purposes. Before you make any financial moves, consult a real estate professional, attorney, CPA, or other professional who's an expert in that subject matter. Everybody's situation is different, and there is not one-size-fits-all approach or guarantee to work for all investors. DHA may receive payments for sponsorships, guests, in the forms of books, giveaways, items, discounts, or other remunerations. As with anything in life, results come from education, following a system, hard work, and determination to follow through to the end. That's my favorite one, that last one. Welcome, welcome. If you haven't already, give us your name and the city that you are investing in, the city and state. This is going to be really important. The other thing that might be helpful, give me a zip code. I think we're going to go a zip code later. Give me a zip code of where you want to be investing, because I'm going to pull up some actual deals that you could be going after. So just type in the zip code that you're investing and your name, so I can plug it in here when we jump over. Let's see here. If you're watching these on a recording, please join us live. We're every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'd love to have you join us on the live version. The benefit of the live version is you're able to ask questions, and we're able to communicate like I am doing right now. Let's see here. Martin's from Virginia. Thanks for being with us. Ventusta, I'm saying this name. Ventusta. Maybe I'm saying that right. Thanks for the thumbs up. CJ, I probably am getting back in. All right, CJ, that's awesome. We're excited to help you. I'm going to show you some tools today that will knock your socks off that our members have access to. CJ, just need a consult. Fantastic. Yeah, give give us a holler. We can get you set up. Let's see here. Oscar's got a zip code for me. Kendall has Oscar has got a zip code for me. Kendall has a zip code for me. Thanks, Kendall, for throwing that zip code in. Throw a few more in. We'll show you some stuff. Free swag. Oh, Chris has a zip code for us too. Chris, thanks for being with us. It's going well. Yeah, I'm so glad, Kendall. Let's see. CJ, let us know. John's working the chat. Big round of applause for John. Let him know. Just let us know, and we can private message or something. We can get one of our amazing associates to give you a holler. Free swag. Who wants some free swag? Today we're going to be giving away some free swag. What are we giving away? So at the end of today, this is for last week's session. We've got this swag box that's going out there. We've got a cool Do Hard Money hat. We've got a water bottle. We've got an arm stretcher. These are great for the office. We've got a Financial Freedom workbook that comes with a DVD. A USB, forms, tools, and a workbook here. This is going out. This is all, we're sending this free. We're paying for postage. We're paying for everything. So we're going to give this away to a member. We've got, we've got the water bottle holder. We've got the arm gripper, the hand gripper. We've got a shirt that's coming out. This is a size large shirt that's coming out. Let's see here. We've got a couple of Do Hard Money stickers. We've got a wristband, a DHM wristband. We also have a Do Hard Money Stress A House. These are my favorite. So this is coming out. We've already determined who this winner is. We'll be announcing this winner at the end. But for this week, between now and the next week, this is what this week's winner is going to get. We'll be announcing it next week. We've got another Do Hard Money hat. This is one of my favorite hats. This is an OGO hat. Super nice material. You're going to love it. We've got another DHM stress thing. We've got a water bottle. We've got another insulated holder, another arm thing or hand thing, a couple of Do Hard Money stickers. We've got another wristband and a squishy house. So we got all that coming to this week's winner. Holy cow, there's so much stuff here. I don't even know if you can see it the way the camera is. So we'll be announcing the winner, but if you want to be the winner for this next week coming up, we will let you know. You can learn next week. So if you're interested, do you want to win some of the swag? If so, put it in the chat. Say, I want the swag. Let me know. So this is how you can get the swag. Before I do that, we've got a bunch of great comments that are going on here. Kendall. Okay, Anthony, thank you. Anthony, we got your zip code in here. William's thrown out a zip code. William, CJ's got a zip code in Virginia. Thank you. Is this live for real? Tiara, yeah, it's live for real. Do I need to blink my eyes or what can I do? I'm here. I'm excited. We're going to go through this. This is live for real, and it's live every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So join it. And Tara, if you've got a question, type it in here. I'm going to answer it for you. If you want to listen to the recorded ones, you're welcome to, but you can get a lot from joining us live. Okay, Nixon, just a screen name. Okay, company name. In Web Holdings. Awesome. I want the swag. Awesome. That's great. Martin, we got your zip code here. Do Hard Money. Got it. Jazz, I'm not sure. I just got the dot. You guys got an email? Yes, we have an email depending upon what you're wanting, but you can email us at support@dohardmoney.com. That might be helpful to you. Tiara, yes, looking forward to this. Let's do it. Tiara, it's me. Yeah. Okay, CJ, stay home virtual hug. Thanks, CJ. I want the swag. Tiara, I'm currently flipping a property in Little Rock, Arkansas. Fantastic. Let's see. I want the swag, says Chris. All right. Fantastic. We got a lot of guys, a lot of stuff going on. So this is how you earn the swag. Back to Tiara's question. Basically, we're looking for positive comments. And those comments are in the chat today as we're working through this live. But I'm also looking for positive comments on the recorded YouTube video. It's a big help to us. Oscar, let's say, if you went onto the YouTube video and said, hey, this was a great training, I really appreciate it, great content, that would be a big help to me. And Tiara, if you did that as well, who does that? We take that into consideration. We're also looking for people with high interaction on the chat. I mean, the more people are asking questions, we're talking, we're doing those things, the better it is for me. The better it is for you. We all learn from each other, so we're looking for high interaction. And based upon all that, I will choose one person for next week that'll be the winner. So at the end of today, we'll be announcing last week's winner, and next week we'll be announcing this week's winner. Okay, let's see here. Anthony, good to have you back. Yeah, last week was a mess. The microphone wasn't working. It took us like 15, 20 minutes to fix it. We did finish, so you may want to go check that out because there was a lot of great content from last week. So thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. Here's some comments from last week. SNN Co. Holdings said, I subscribed. Jim Shoemaker said, I subscribed earlier today. I really appreciate that. If you like these live casts and you want to see these continue, what we're looking for here, my goal was 4,360 subscribers by the end of October. We're currently at 4,360. Yes, we hit it. And that was a stretch goal. Our original goal was 4,340. So we're definitely climbing up there. A big thank you to all the subscribers. I appreciate you being with us. We want to give you a ton of value. That's why I do these every single week. It doesn't cost anything to be here or anything else. We want you to be here and part of it. But if you are listening right now and you are currently not a subscriber, please go and subscribe. We want to see how far we can take this for this next week. And if you're a subscriber, I upload new videos daily. So every single day, we have different videos. They're short form videos. They're 5 minutes or less about a specific topic. You can watch them. You can get information. They're very beneficial. We've had lots of feedback. So please, give it a thumbs up when you see the videos, especially this one. Also, hit the subscribe button so you can be some of our newest subscribers. And if you hit the bell notification, you will get notified as they come available. So let's see. Vensta says, member since last week. I know I'm saying your name wrong. Venusta. Am I saying that right? Please correct me. Yeah, thank you. Subscribed tonight. Timothy, thanks for being our newest subscriber. Venusta, I have obtained great information from this channel. Fantastic. That's what I'm here for. And it's going to get even better. Tonight, we're going to blow the lid off. You're going to be super excited. Nix1. Thanks, 100%. Fantastic. Chris, thanks for subscribing, being a new subscriber. I really appreciate it. I think you'll really enjoy it today. Our YouTube channel is Do Hard Money, DOHRDMONEY.com. Please leave a comment on the recorded video. Venusta, fantastic. I'm glad. I am horrible with names, and I'm a little dyslexic, so this is not my strong point. So thanks for the thumbs up, Maurice. It means a lot. Okay, real estate market update. Let's talk about what's happening in the market. As I talk about some things that I think us as real estate investors need to know, please comment. What's happening in your local market? Are prices going up? Are prices going down? Are prices stagnant? I don't think prices are going down pretty much anywhere, but I'm really interested to know. So please let me know, what are you seeing in your local market and what challenges are you having? Tiara, this is my first time on here. Tiara, thanks for being with us. Please subscribe to our channel. Earl says hello. Thanks, Earl, for being here. Really appreciate it. And Nix1 says stay home. All right. Well, here's what's happening with the real estate market from what we see. COVID-19 housing market. This week, the economy showed signs of modest improvement with the NFIB Small Business Index showing confident gains in September. So that's what we're seeing. October's numbers aren't out yet. Building off the July and August rebound, consumer spending more freely in September. Retail sales rose strongly, which means people are spending money. That's what we want to see. Notably, restaurant sales dropping during the month. Yeah, I think that's to be expected. Largest spike in used cars and trucks prices since 1969. The largest spike in used car and truck prices, basically used inventory, is more expensive than it's ever been since 1969, when bell bottoms and flower power and groovy tunes ruled the airwaves. If you had bell bottoms and you're listening to me right now, please let me know. I'm really curious. I'd love to know if you had some bell bottoms. That would be awesome. Okay. Boston market is hot right now, is what Oscar's saying. I gotcha. TR, prices are going up. Interest rates are going down. What market are you in there? Oscar is saying houses selling quickly. We're seeing the same thing. Maurice, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for being here. Olivia, hello from Baltimore, Maryland. I want the swag. Olivia, what what's happening in your market? I'm curious what you're seeing. Tiara, how can we find more deals? Tiara, that's the whole thing we're going to be talking about today. I think you're going to really like it. Olivia Baker, thanks for being here. The real story in real estate is just how strong the housing market actually has been and continues to be. We'll get into this a little bit more, but existing home sales were up 6 million level. We've crossed the 1 million mark. There's nothing left to be said other than wow, according to Quicken Loans. Yahoo Finance says rising home prices are keeping prospective buyers out of home ownership. Basically, it's going up, so people are staying out of home ownership because it's too expensive. Tiara in Little Rock, fantastic. Yahoo Finance says home prices usually drop in the fall, but median home prices hover near summer highs at $350,000. So basically, this time of year, prices go down. It just happens because there's fewer buyers, less inventory, those types of things. Last week, we were up 12.9% for the week ending October 3rd compared to the same time last year. So if you owned a house last year and you bought it for $100,000, this year it's worth $112,900 according to Realtor.com. Okay, let's see here. Timothy, houses selling quickly in northern Massachusetts over asking price and within 14 days. Isn't that remarkable? Willie says, any way around the moratoriums on evictions? Here, Willie, I'll give you a quick hint. What you need to do is register. So there's some government assistance for your tenant that they'll actually bring the rent current. So if your tenant's not been paying up until December, you can get government assistance. You can file it. My attorney did it for me. Unfortunately, he only can do Utah tenants. But I have one tenant that was having some problems. We filed and then we got paid in full. So the idea with the moratorium on evictions is you can't evict because the government is subsidizing rents. So all you need to do, William, is get with an attorney or get with the apartment association for your area, have them file, and then you'll get paid up until the time that it's been missed. And then you can deal with the eviction in the first of the year when you're able to. William, I hope that's helpful. If you have follow-up questions, put them in the chat. Olivia, houses selling faster. Market is on fire. I'm seeing the exact same thing. I just moved to Paris, Texas. Thanks for the Texas, Chris, because I was thinking you were at the Eiffel Tower. Need to get a sense of the market here. Was in Denver. Super hot there. Yep, I'm seeing the same thing. Why'd you move to Paris, Texas from Denver, Chris? Be interested to know. Monthly job reports showed that September unemployment continued to improve as sectors like leisure, hospitality, retail, healthcare are added back. Altogether, payrolls rose by 661,000. That's a ton. Home prices are still at peak summer levels for the first time in our data history. September homes are on the market for less time than August. So typically in August, homes are going to be hotter and sell faster than in September. And right now, September is actually hotter than August. It'll be interesting to see all the data for October. I know we're telling to the end of October, but I won't have the data until we're into November just a bit. Homes, more than 500,000 fewer homes are for sale compared to the same time last year. Although the market may be challenging for home buyers, many of these signs are positive for sellers in the overall housing recovery. The current state of the housing market isn't expected to change anytime soon. According to Freddie Mac, the average interest rate on 30-year fixed was 0.6 points, paid was 2.81%. Who was saying that values are up and interest rates are going down? I think it was Tiara that was saying that. Who said that? Oh, yeah, Tiara. Prices are going up and interest rates are going down. Absolutely. That's the case pretty much everywhere. Nix 1, I'm real estate hungry. I want healthy portions and snacks, and I have an appetite. Here's the thing, Nix 1. It basically comes down, you're going to have one of two problems. You're either going to have problems finding properties, and if you have problems finding properties, it's going to be really easy to sell properties. Or it's going to be really easy to find properties, but really hard to sell properties. So it's an inverse relationship. It's a balance here. It's a scale, right? So right now we're in the situation where it's hard to find properties. And when it's hard to find properties, it's easy to sell properties. And that's what today's going to be all about, is finding off-market properties. So I hope we can fill that appetite. Let's see. Chris moved to Paris, Texas for family mostly. That's important. Family's super important. Jays. hopefully I'm saying that right. Who's in Atlantis market? I'm assuming you're meaning Atlanta, or are you meaning the Bahamas? I'd be interested to know. Nick's one, good vibes. Okay, the Fed suggests the worst of the crisis is over in their morning briefing, according to Yahoo Finance. Let's do a quick COVID-19 update. A couple things I think we need to be aware of is how it affects us as real estate investors. A couple of quick ideas. What are you seeing with your COVID in your area? I'd be interested. Venusta, what's the average investment return profits from a single family home? Venusta, it really comes, it depends is the answer. It depends on your strategy. You could be wholesaling the property and you could be looking at profits from $5,000 to maybe $15,000, sometimes higher. You could be doing a fix and flip, which average profits are somewhere around the $20,000 to $70,000. You could be doing a rental property where you keep all the equity in there and you actually are making money monthly. So you can be making $100 a month, but you get the appreciation tax write-off. So that's another strategy. You could be burring the property where you're getting in with zero down, where you're really not, maybe not going to get a lot of cash flow, but you'll have the upwards appreciation, tax write-offs, and everything else. So Venusa, it's a loaded question. I've got several videos on different strategies like wholesaling, like fix and flip, the BRRRR strategy, rental properties. Please check them out on the YouTube. Or if you want to come over as a member, you can check things out and we could get into a lot more detail. So Venusa, I hope that helps. All right, let's see here. What's the average returns? We talked about that. Delosina Jones, we're in the third installment of forbearance plan. Makes sense. Is that on your own house? Are you making payments on your own house, or what? What's happening there? Let me know. Feel free, put it in the comments. And I'm sorry, I know I slaughtered your name. Tell me how to let us know. We just got notice of congratulations. We got a tweet. We've got over 100 messages today with Restream. Fantastic. Keep the comments rolling, guys. Service providers are processing partial claims. Yes, absolutely. This is if you own a house and you're having trouble with payments, you can talk to them and they can help you out as well. Tiara, 30,000 has been my average on fix and flips. Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's a really good average. It's also, Tiara, it's going to depend on your market. If you're selling houses for 75,000 versus selling properties for 300,000, you're going to see some different profit margins as well. No, I work for a servicer. Oh, okay. Yeah, fantastic. Mortgage service provider. Cool. Good information. I appreciate it. COVID-19 update real quick. National level, we're seeing a little bit of a level off, but we're starting to see some increase in a few areas. Leroy in Florida, 20,000 hospital beds available, 2,284 in use. Maurice says 14,552 available and 2,301 in use is what we're seeing. Actually, I think Maurice is with us today. Jim in Arizona, currently they've got 6,000 available beds with 559 in use just as of last week. In news, ABC News says China just became the first country to grow its economy after COVID-19. What lessons can the U.S. learn? Well, the thing I think is really interesting is COVID's first cases were November 17th, 2019. So it makes me really hopeful we're getting closer because our first cases weren't until March. So I think that the economy really having big growth, you're going to be seeing somewhere in the March time, which coincides with the spring. So early in the spring, you're going to want to be looking for properties now, which we're going to be talking all about finding off-market properties. Let's see here. What do we got coming? No, I work for service. Okay, I'm sorry. Difference between wholesaling and flipping. Venusta, the difference between wholesaling and flipping is probably your profit margin is probably $5,000 to $15,000 on a wholesale deal, and flipping is probably around that, $20,000 to $70,000. Keep in mind, there's additional risks when you're fix and flipping. You've got to be the project manager. Your contractor could screw up and give you bad bids. There could be cost overruns. There could be problems with the property you didn't realize. You take on more risk for that. That can be wonderful because you can get more reward, and it can be frustrating sometimes as well. So there's always a risk reward. Tiara, correct. Fantastic. Maurice is here. Maurice is in the house. All right, man. Thanks for being here. ABC News, risk of COVID-19 exposures on planes. These are airplanes is virtually non-existent when masked. I read this study. It's really interesting. It's really changed my perspective a lot on masks. I'm not a huge fan of masks, but seeing some of the things start coming up and seeing these studies studies is telling me masks are really the solution, so I'm a big supporter of it. Johnson & Johnson plans to enroll 60,000 participants into phase 3 trials. New CDC, this is according to Fox 13, new CDC report says 94% of patients who died from COVID had other health issues. 94% of patients who died from COVID had other health issues. This is really important to keep this in the perspective right now because there are more people that are dealing with COVID, but the deaths are not as drastic as they thought, which is great news because it's saddening to think of anybody that's lost a family member. Best bet to beat COVID-19 this fall is flu shots. If you haven't gotten one, I got mine last month. I think it was last month. COVID-19 top science stories of the week, from single vaccination results to asymptomatic spreading. Immune reaction to some common colds might provide protection against COVID-19. Fox News reported last immunity seen after mild COVID-19 infection. The reports kids are less susceptible to catching and spreading the novel coronavirus than are adults. Young people who live in a household with someone that has COVID has a 5.2% risk of catching the virus. Those who are 20 to 50 years of age have a 14.8%, while those over 60 had an 18.4%. I think this is really interesting. I don't think you can get any closer to it than living with somebody that has it. And if you do, this is your risk percentage, 5.2, 14.8, 18.4. I think that's really interesting. Let me catch up on a few comments here. Maurice, we're seeing increase in COVID-19 around the surrounding counties of Chicago. We're finding that in my hometown as well, Maurice. So I've been masking up. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so we're going to be talking about how to find off-market properties. So Tiara, buckle up. Who's I can't remember who's Nick's one. Well, I can't remember what your real name is, Nick's one. We're coming for you. We've got a bunch of people that put in some zip codes. If you haven't put in a zip code yet, throw a zip code in that you're interested in investing, so I'm going to get to that. Let me grab a drink here. We're going to get all into how to find off-market properties. How's your guys' day been? Has everybody had a great day? You excited about learning all about finding these off-market properties? Put it in the comments. I really want to know. Who's had a bad day? If you've had a bad day today, put it in. If you've had a bad day today, put your zip code in here you're investing, and we'll pull up some properties. It might turn that frown upside down. It's okay to have bad days. I know how it goes. Okay. Let me get situated here because we are going to rock and roll. Okay, how to find off-market properties. What you're going to learn is what off-market homes are and why it matters. You'll learn my favorite ways to find off-market properties, how to get phone numbers of owners you cannot find, ways to contact sellers of off-market properties. So what are off-market properties, okay? Off-market properties are properties that are not listed on the multiple listing service or the MLS. You see, this is what real estate agents use. They say, hey, I'll put your home on the MLS. Well, basically what the MLS is a network of real estate agents, and it's a platform where properties are listed, which gives exposure, meaning letting other agents know these properties are there. And in addition to that, it says, if you bring a buyer, I'll pay you a commission. And so what happens is if I'm an agent, I can list your property, I can put it on the multiple listing service, and I'll tell other cooperating brokers that if you bring a buyer, I will pay you a commission for that out of the commission I'm getting from my seller. That's what the multiple listing service is. And one of the things with the multiple listing service is I'm not just listing it here when I list it, it propagates out to a whole bunch of other relationships online, which means your home is virtually found anywhere, which gives it maximum exposure. So why does off-market matter? It comes down to supply and demand. Okay, that's why when you sell a property, we want you to list that property on multiple listing service. We want you to have maximum exposure when you're trying to sell a property. We want you to have maximum exposure. However, if you're trying to buy a property and that property is listed on the MLS, even if it's in need of work, it also has maximum exposure, which means everybody and their dog and their dog's brothers, friends, cousin can see it, which means with lots of exposure, prices go up, competition goes up, and frustration goes up, and you'll say, man, I missed another property. I can't find a good property, because the majority of real estate investors are looking at the MLS as a way for them to find properties. It doesn't work like that in most markets and most of the time. In addition, if you're delegating your success to an agent and your business plan is, I'm going to have an agent find me properties, most of the time, that doesn't work either, most of the time. So I'm not saying you shouldn't try it, but that shouldn't be your primary aim. That shouldn't be your objective of what you're trying to do. What you want your primary to be is off-market properties. If the property is off-market, it does not have as much exposure and does not have as much competition. The problem is, how can you find off-market properties? Where can you see where they're at? How can you go after these types of properties? It really comes down to equity. And it comes down to motivation, okay? Equity is the difference between what they owe and what the property's worth. And motivation is, why would they want to sell the property? What is happening in their life? What changes are occurring which would make them want to have to liquidate their property or sell their property? And more importantly, sell their property to somebody where they're willing to take a discount because of the condition of the property, or because they would rather have cash fast than waiting to find a new buyer for the property. And that's especially important in today's market, where finding buyers can happen really, really quickly, okay? You need both of these to have a good deal. You got to have both of them, okay? Equity. Equity is the difference between what the home is worth and what is owed on the property. And Investor's Edge can actually give you the equity information, okay? On Investor's Edge, and we'll show that to you. Let me just take a random zip code here, actually. Let's just take 72211. Let's just take this. I don't know where. Oh, it took my old one that said there. 7. Let's see here. 77. Oh, there we go. That's in Arkansas. We'll just hit on that. So if I jump into Investor's Edge, and I'm just going to take a random house. I know nothing about this house, just at random. Okay, this is basically showing the estimated value. So 151,000 is the estimated value. Last year we think it was worth about 139,000. Is this accurate? No. Does it give you an idea or something to work off, or is it worth it for you to be able to send a postcard to this person or knock on their door? Yes. Okay, so we know that this property is purchased for cash. We know they do not have a mortgage on this property. They own nothing on this property. And quickly, I can just look at this super easy, okay? This was an REO trust deed. This was a foreclosure sale. Somebody paid cash for this property just recently. I can look at the tax information, see how much is owed on the taxes. It was a cash sale. It was on 9/9/2020. Somebody just bought this property from an REO trust deed. This would be a great property for you to contact this person and say, hey, do you want to wholesale the property to me? You just bought it for cash. I'll give $5,000 more, $10,000 more, and I'll take this over. Just like that easy, this property. And if you want to know the property details, this hasn't been updated yet, but the Secretary of U.S. Department of Housing is the current owner of this property. So it looks like they took it, when they say cash, they bought it at the foreclosure sale, which was them buying it from themselves as a lender. And here is the address so you can get with HUD. Secretary of Housing. HUD has different rules. That's a topic for another day. It's currently a bank-owned property right now. So basically, they bought it at the foreclosure sale and bought it back as the bank. Great property you could go after. Just right there. So that tells you how much. Let's just try and grab another property that's not. Let's go with a bankruptcy property. Here's a property right here. Let me show you. So they have estimated equity is $100,000. They owe $200,000 on the property. There's $330 is the estimated equity. $330 was last year. Again, is this perfect? No, but it gives you an idea. And we can look at their mortgage. We can come back to the mortgage. Their arm's length resale was for $305. It got financing. This property just bought on 10/12. And so let's see, arm's length real estate. This person just bought it. It looks like they put $100,000 down. This is probably not one you're going to want to go after. They just got a loan on 10/12. So this is not one you're going to want to spend money marketing. They basically bought the property. They probably put some money down. They got a loan for $200,000, and we think the property's worth around $300,000. You can look at all the MLS information. The sell amount was $305. So this person bought the property for $305. They got a loan for $200,000, which means they put $100,000 $100,000 cash, and you see the pictures, you can know everything. You can know what's going on in your neighborhood. The owner, this is their mailing address, which just so happens to be the property address, right? So these are the power of knowledge. This is what I'm talking about. But getting back to where we were, we're talking about equity here. The equity is the difference between what the home is worth and what the home is owed. But let me just go back for 1 second. Let me make sure everybody knows. We need one that's a little bit older on here. I want to make sure everybody knows. So basically what we're doing, we're looking at the mortgage information. So here's a good one. The mortgage was back in 2016. Okay. And this one, the opportunity is 436. These guys don't have a debt on here. It looks like that one's paid. Let's grab another one for you here. Estimated mortgage balance, $158,000. Okay, that was the estimated mortgage balance. But guess what? They financed back in 2004. They financed $275,000. So why do they owe $158,000? Because they've been making payments, and those payments, when those payments actually happen, it pays down the loan. And so basically, in the last 16 years, they probably owe about $158,000. Then if you compare that to the $400,000 we think the property's worth, and that doesn't mean you still need to do all your due diligence, all that type of stuff to make sure. That means that there is $242,000 worth of equity. So a really cool thing that can happen here is you can come in and you can say, I want to look at equity, and I want to say I want to look at any property that has at least $50,000 of equity, and you can hit close, and then we can filter and search, and we can look at any property that has $50,000 of equity. Now I'm doing this just with this bankruptcy, but if we just looked at the vacant properties, these vacant properties are vacant. They're single-family houses in this one zip code. They are not listed on the multiple listing, and they have at least $50,000 worth of equity. And you can go through, you can sort these properties, and take a great look at them. So that's the difference. This isn't perfect, but it's worth spending a little bit of money on marketing so you can know where you stand. Let's talk about motivation. Motivation is typically a life situation, a change that's happening in life situation. So vacant home means there's some type of motivation. I've moved, I've had a job transfer, who knows what's happened. Involuntary liens. An involuntary lien means I didn't authorize the lien to go on my property, which means it was a collections, it was a judgment, it was something where a court was allowing that to go against my property. A bankruptcy, I'm not able to pay my bills, I'm in a bankruptcy type situation, and right now, as we're going into this new year, there's the opportunity for lots with bankruptcy or late payments. Out-of-state owners, why do they own the property if it's out of state? Unless it's a recreational home that they're going to be using, why do they own this property? And for most cases, they don't want to own this property. Non-owner occupieds. It means that the owner lives in the same state as where the property is located, but doesn't live in the property, which tells me more than likely this is a rental property. And what happens over time with most rental properties is landlords want to get rid of them unless they're professional landlords, and most people just aren't cut out to be a landlord. They don't get the training, they don't put in the time. Let's talk about pre-foreclosures. This is something where they have a notice of default or notice of sale prior to the foreclosure actually taking place. Failed listings means that the property is put on the MLS and did not sell. Now, lots of things that are put on the MLS and didn't sell don't have any value in it, don't have any money in it. But if you can sort by equity, then you could go after people that were on the MLS, didn't sell, meaning they wanted to sell, but they didn't sell, but they have equity. So either they were just too greedy or the timing wasn't right. So it really comes down to this. Off-market properties, if you've got an appetite for making some money in real estate, you've got to combine motivation with equity, and then you have a winning combination. So one of the things we do on Investor's Edge is it allows us to search for both the equity and the motivation, and I like to call these buckets. So these buckets that I've just established, and let me just grab another zip code here. I'm just going to go to 60621. Let's just grab that zip code. That's in Illinois. So we're just going to grab these buckets. Okay, so we've got vacant properties here. We've got properties with liens here. We've got bankruptcies here. And we've got out-of-state owners here. We've got non-owner occupieds here, and we've got pre-foreclosures here. So basically, these are different buckets, and this bucket tells me how many people are in that one. So let's just take bankruptcies. In this one zip code in Illinois, there are 111 bankruptcies that are single-family houses, not listed on the multiple listing service, that have $50,000 or more of equity in them. These are great leads that I can be going after. Here's another one. These are out-of-state owners. There's 78 out-of-state owners that is in this zip code that are not listed on the MLS that have more than $50,000 of equity. They're all just right here. I can do postcards, mailers, all that fun stuff. We'll get to all that. Those are buckets. And the cool thing about these buckets, there's 78 today. If one of those properties sells, they'll be 77. But if another one has more equity or if something changes, they'll be 79. And one of the things you can do is set up alerts. So every single time a property changes in one of your buckets, it'll send you an email, Investor's Edge. The software will send you an email. Or it can send it every single time, or it can do a day's summary so you always know, and then you can put those new ones on your marketing list to actually go after them. This is powerful. This is how things happen. You get updated changes automatically. You know who you're going after, and it's a numbers game. So these auto notifications, it'll set you an email each time a new property comes in the market. It's in one of the buckets that you've pre-established. This is next level investing. Does that mean everybody's going to want to sell their home at the price you want to? And the answer is no. But if you make enough offers and you put enough time, statistically over time, you will find a good deal. And we have a cool software called the Next Deal Blueprint. And you can put in certain parameters of your information, and it'll give you an idea how many offers you need to make, what type of offers, what type of marketing, based upon statistical numbers of what we see in the overall market as to what you need to do to get a property under contract. And typically, about 25 offers is what it's going to take for you to get a property that's going to make you some good money. If you think about it, if you're going to make $50,000 or $70,000 or $30,000 or whatever you're going to make on a deal, having to make 25 offers is nothing. If you look at your hourly rate on what you make for making those offers, and the better you get at this and the more of those are off market, the less of them you need to make. You may only have to make 5 or 10 or just a few, so it really depends. One of the great things about real estate in the investing realms is homes need repairs. So if somebody's not taking their home, it gets dilapidated, it needs repairs. They need fix-ups. Styles change. What was look good? I mean, white cabinets are in. Are you kidding me? I can't stand white cabinets. I'm telling you, it's a fad. It's going to go away. But with time, they're in right now. So then everybody's going to say, I hate white cabinets. My kids' fingerprints get all over them. I can't stand these. I want to go back to the naughty alder cabinets that were really big for a long time, right? Styles are constantly changing. So if a homeowner doesn't keep up on it, it can cause damage on the property and it can just become out of style. So as years go by, they're like, you know what? I don't want to spend all this money fixing up the house. And if the house doesn't keep up with the newest trends and styles, it's not going to get the highest dollar amount from it. So this can be to our advantage as real estate investors. We can take advantage of this idea of, hey, you got to keep up with style. Hey, you've got to do maintenance if you don't do those things. If you have little grandma and grandpa that aren't able to keep up on their property, and as they pass away, you can take over that property and buy it from the family because the property's in need of work, and even listing that property in the multiple listing doesn't make a lot of sense because of the amount of work that it needs. So there's constant turn of properties in these situations, which means new inventory for you to be going after as a real estate investor. Let's talk about some of these in detail. Vacant homes. Why would a home be vacant? Okay, a couple ideas. Job relocation, death in the family, a divorce situation, they have 2 separate homes. All of these could mean that somebody has motivation. Again, we're looking for equity and we're looking for motivation. Involuntary liens. This means that you have a lien that you didn't ask for. A voluntary lien is when you sign for like a mortgage, a loan that you're getting. An HOA, you didn't pay your HOA bill. Well, if that's the case, if somebody didn't pay their HOA bill, there's probably a good reason why they may need to sell their property. A judgment, you had a bill that you never paid and then it turned into a collection and turned into a judgment. That might mean you have some motivation to liquidate your property, get some cash out of your property. Inventory liens, mechanics liens, you had work done to the home and you didn't pay for it. That probably means you have a need to liquidate that property. Utility liens. You didn't pay for water, sewer, garbage, gas, electric for a long time. It takes a long time to get a utility lien, which probably means you're in a difficult situation and I can help you as a real estate investor. Child support lien. Child support hasn't been paid. Probably means you're in a difficult situation. Wouldn't it be great as an investor if I could bring that child support current, get you a little money in your pocket, and then buy the property from you? It could be a win-win-win. I could solve and help so many people by doing that transaction. A tax lien. Taxes haven't been paid. This is a big one. If taxes haven't been paid, there's a huge opportunity here because keep in mind, taxes supersede any loan that's on the property. So that's going to be a big deal. Other liens. There's different types of other liens that come up depending upon circumstances. All of these could mean there's lots of motivation. Let's talk about bankruptcy. Somebody that has filed a bankruptcy is going to have motivation. Now, they might be doing Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. It may get discharged. It may get dismissed. But all those things mean there are going to be some motivation. Out-of-state owners. The owner does not live in the state where the property is located. We know this based upon where the tax bill is sent. You see, if the tax notice for the taxes is in the same state or to the same home as to where the property is, that means it's a owner occupied. If this tax bill goes to the same state but not to the same property, that's a non-owner occupied. If it goes out of state, we know it's an out-of-state owner. If the tax bill gets sent somewhere other than in the same state, we know it's an out-of-state owner. So out-of-state owners, these could be opportunities for us. They could be great investment properties for us where we could buy them from the out-of-state owner. Non-owner occupied. The owner lives in the same state but not in the same house. Again, this could mean they're a landlord. And if they're a landlord, landlords get burnt out all the time. The greatest time to catch a landlord is when they had a tenant that just trashed the property and they don't want to spend more money fixing the property up. And they say, to heck with this, I am done. I don't want to spend money. I don't want to fix this property up. I'm done. It becomes an emotional thing. This could be an extra home they didn't need. Make sure you're in an area where it's not a vacation area. You see, like in my area, if you're going after this in Park City, Utah, you might get Will Smith's house. That's not a guy that probably needs to sell his house on a default type situation. So make sure you're not going after that. And that doesn't just mean it's Park City, Utah. This could be, hey, this is around a community. This is around a lake. This is around here. Where are homes where there's a high concentration of vacation homes? And just make sure you take those out either through zip codes or by looking at them, and you're not marketing those types of properties. You'll be wasting some money. Let's talk about pre-foreclosure homes. These means you have missed payments. You haven't been making your payments. First thing that happens, you get a notice of default. This says you've defaulted, you've missed your payments. This is public record. Everybody in the world can look at this and know that you missed payments based upon the notice of default if they know where to find it. Next, let's talk about notice of sale. A foreclosure sale date is set. Auction. This is where the auction actually happens. The notice of sale, by the way, is usually about 30 days, maybe 40 days prior to the sale actually occurring. So if you go after the notice of defaults, they may have their head in the sand. The notice of sale, they know in 30 or 40 or 60 days the date and time of the sale is taking place. The auction, this is when the auction is actually taking place. This is the process of a bank taking back the property. They can get other people to bid, like you could go and bid on the property, or if nobody bids, they bid themselves and they become the owner of the property. The banks don't want the properties, they want to get rid of them. So there's an opportunity for you to work with a bank, which now becomes a bank-owned property. The bank has now taken back and owns this property, and you can go after the bank and talk to them. Okay, failed listings. This means the property is put on the market or the MLS, but it did not sell. Nobody bought the property from the MLS. This could mean that they are motivated to sell. So as long as all of these have equity, that's the key, equity, the difference between what they own and what the property's worth, people you need to get in contact with. These are people you've got to get in contact with. So now, how am I going to get in contact with these people? Number one, I could just go knock on the door. I have a really good friend that works pre-foreclosures, and all he does is 4 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then Saturday mornings, he knocks on the doors and says, hey, as a matter of public record, I understand that you've got a notice of default, or he likes to work notice of sales. There's a sale date in a few weeks. I'd love to help you find some solutions. Leaves a card, tries to talk to him, and has a ton of success with that. Skip tracing and doing voice broadcasts. As a matter of fact, Investor's Edge software will allow you to do that. It's really cool. You can come in and do a skip trace. There's a fee for a skip trace. You can get the phone number, you can get the email, and you can get the phones and emails. Once you get those skip traces, you can then do what's called a voice broadcast. You just go into campaigns. You can send postcards. You can send postcards without having to do a skip trace. We know the address of the person automatically. Wherever the tax bill is being sent, that's where we're going to send a postcard. You can do a voice broadcast with a voicemail series, and you can do that, but you've got to do a skip trace because that's how you're going to locate the phone number for people you don't know. And in lots of cases with a skip trace, you can get an email. In addition to that, you can actually do your own website where you can come in and put information in. I've been playing around with this one, so don't judge me for it. But you can get different campaigns, different offers with postcards. You can come up with your own campaign. So there's a lot of ways that you can go after these types of Properties, and sending postcards. One of the cool things is we have postcard templates in Investor's Edge. You can choose from a whole bunch of them. So you don't have to spend any money with a graphics designer trying to come up with postcards. Remember, it only takes one good deal to make a whole lot of money. And the faster that you do the deal, the first one's always the hardest. It takes a long time to do. It takes some blood, sweat, and tears. Your second one's a little easier. Your third one's a little easier. And it continues to get easier and easier as time goes on. This is how to find off-market properties so you can make money as a real estate investor. All right, guys, if you haven't checked out our Find Fund Flip system, we have dozens of hours trainings. We have the deal finding software. We have our Investor's Edge. We have access to 100% financing. Go to dohardmoney.com/get started. But I want to catch up on a bunch of comments here. I got really into the groove. And so I spent most of the day unloading our moving trailer. Okay, Chris, 7.5. That moving sucks. It takes a lot of work to move. I do not envy you, Chris, but hopefully that'll be a good move for you, your family, moving there to Paris, Texas. Let's see, Kendall, I was about to put your zip code, but you beat me. Marie Smith. Oh, that's awesome. Earl, let's see, we've got that. How do you find cheap and trustworthy contractors? Man, Venusta, that's always tough. I think the best thing is to work from referrals. One of the things we're starting to build in our Find Fund Flip system is contractors. Now, we don't guarantee or recommend or anything, but we're building that database all the time of contractors that have worked with other clients. So we're building that database, which is going to be a huge benefit to our members. If you're not a member, you can check it out. But what I like to do is look at the work they've done for other people. So you can go see who's a licensed contractor, and you can call all the licensed contractors, and then you can say, I want to see work you've already done. And so you can go to properties they've already done, and you can get a feel for the work and check out their work. I think that's one of the best ways you can do it. The other thing I like to do is hang out at Home Depot and see the guy that pulls up, not in the brand new pickup truck, but in the beat up pickup truck, and say, hey, I'm looking for a good contractor. Can you come look at it? The other thing is subcontractors. Sometimes it's better to find subcontractors. Right now, there's a lot of construction. If you drive around and say, hey, you see somebody framing, or you see somebody doing drywall, just go and say hello. Say, hey, I'm interested in some drywall work. I'm a real estate investor. I have lots of deals. Even if you don't have deals, say you're going to have a lot of deals. So there's a lot of ways. We actually have a whole training in our members area about finding contractors, but that's a topic for another day. There's a lot, but I hope that helps. Tiara, I hope that helps you as well. It is frustrating on contractors. There's no question. Timothy, what are your feelings on foreclosures? I do a lot of work on foreclosures for banks. It doesn't really matter if the price is right. The price is right. I'm happy to buy foreclosure properties. It just needs to make sense financially. One of the things we have is the Investor's Edge software to help with us valuing properties, but we also have our advanced deal analysis. It'll help us. You can put deals in there, and it'll help you understand if it's a good deal or a bad deal, or what price you need to pay for the property. So, Timothy, that's what I would do. I hope that answers. If not, put it in. What says Taram? Martin, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there, but I'd like to. Venusta, Investor's Edge. Yep, that's exactly right. Martin, what system is that meant to type? Investor's Edge. Yep, I think that's good. Okay, cool. Got it. Let's see, Oscar, we've got your zip here. What's the difference between okay. Yeah, it's going to vary. Give us a call, Oscar, and we can go through some of the details on that. Let's see here. Venusta, say if you got an FHA loan for residential single-family property, suppose I rented it out, how would I pay back the loan? Say if you got a property for a loan for residential. Okay, so if you got a loan from us, Venusta, what you would actually be doing is you would be refinancing us. This is a BRRRR technique. So check out the videos we've done on BRRRR. But the idea is you can't go to Chase or Bank of America, or you pick your bank and get a loan on a property that's in need of work. So you would come to us, and we would give you the money to fix the property and give you the money to buy the property. Based upon that, you would then do the work to the property, and as long as you had 20% or greater of equity when you were done, you would then go to Bank of America and say, I have a property, I have a tenant in there, I'm cash flowing, and they would then give you a loan. That loan would pay off our loan, and you would be in that property with little to no money down. But check out our Burr video. That could be really helpful. Chris, is there any interaction of marketing with Investor's Edge or more export into spreadsheets? Yeah, direct interaction into marketing. You do not have to export into a spreadsheet. I hope I showed you that properly here. Let's just come to a new campaign. You just come to postcards. You choose the postcard you want. Here's all the different postcard standards. You can do good, bad, or ugly. You can do, whatever you want. You select this postcard, and then you can come in and you can put all your information in here. Need to sell, fast. So you can come in and type it, and it'll just change. Oops. Anyway, my font's all wrong, but yeah, you can just come in here and type in all your text. It'll put your text onto here. Then you just hit the button. It sends it out automatically. The same thing with the skip tracing. You just hit the button. It does a skip trace for you. And same thing with your. Let's just go to a new campaign. Oh, this is where you do your list. Here's your list. All that. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see here. Chris, I hope that answers your question. Venusta, it would take me so long to pay it back. No, actually, you would be able to pay it back within a few months because you would borrow the money, fix up the property. Once you fix up the property, you put a tenant inside there. Once you put the tenant inside there, you apply for the new loan. We typically have you apply for a new loan before you even take out the loan. And then at that point, you would refinance the property. So typically, it would be 5 months or less is what we're seeing. Let's see here. Before, I've got a bunch of comments. We're going to get through everybody here. But if you're interested, if you don't currently have our Investor's Edge, you can do a free trial. This is an Investor's Edge trial. Just go to dohardmoney.com/IE for Investor's Edge -free -trial. Again, dohardmoney.com/IE -free -trial. I'll get John, if you can post that in here for everybody. If you want to take advantage, get a 7-day free trial, or it might be a 3-day free trial. You can play with it. Anthony, will I have a better chance making offers on REO, bank-owned properties since I see on Investor's Edge what they have paid off? It will make it an offer over their payment. Yeah, Anthony, I mean, banks are weird, right? So as soon as a property comes back to the bank, they can sell it. If the bank was owed $100,000, once the bank becomes an REO property, they could sell it for $1 million. The difference is if the bank sells it for more money, they can't go after the borrower if they end up making all their money back on that. So I don't think it helps you. I think the banks are going to go after and get as much as they can. I think you're going to have a better time going after pre-foreclosure properties than you are bank-owned properties. And I think you're going to have a better time going after out-of-state owners, non-owner-occupieds than going after REO properties. Just my personal opinion, if you're going to go after REO properties, you probably want to find an asset manager. One of the people, who was it up here, works for a firm, works for a servicing company. They may have some other input on that. You've got managers that are looking at that. I actually have a whole book. This would get into short sales. I have a book on short sales you can find on Amazon, which that may be helpful as we come into next year. Anthony, I hope that's helpful. If not, let me know. Pose another question if you need some more clarification. Let's see. Yep, thanks. Let's see here. Anthony, also on REOs, will I be dealing with an asset manager from the bank or a local real estate assigned to the bank? Great question. It depends. So typically what happens is the bank gets it. Sometimes they pre-assign a local real estate agent, and sometimes there's an asset manager. You can work with the asset manager. I think you're going to do better off if you can work with an asset manager when you contact the bank. So it's going to depend on the bank and what their procedures are. Tiara, how much does it cost for skip tracing and mail outs of postcards? I can't remember, but I can look right here and tell you. The prices are just on here. Skip traces, it depends on how many you're doing. So anywhere from 14 cents to 25 cents for phones. And if you're doing phones and emails, it's 16 to 30 cents. So it just depends on what you want. As far as postcards, let me get a new campaign. On a postcard, you're going to be looking, depending upon the size, I do the 4.5 by 6s. I don't do the oversize. So depending upon how many, 43 cents. Now, this is amazing. This is printing. This includes the shipping. So you don't have to put shipping on there, post office. You don't have to put that in. That's all of it. This is printing, shipping, the whole deal delivered, 43 to 58 cents. It's fantastic. I don't even know what postage is, 38 cents or something now. It seems like every time I turn around, it's going up. So you can just do all that. And the other thing is it just makes it super easy. I don't know about you, but I like to hit the easy button anytime I can. It's worth it. What is the return on sending out postcards? Tiara, great question. It depends is the answer. But what we've built is the Next Deal blueprint, and you can put in postcards and how many you need to get. So in some areas of the country, you might have to spend $10,000 sending out postcards, like in California. In other areas of the country, like in Utah, you might have to spend $2,500 in postcards before you end up with a deal. But if you spent $10,000 in postcards in California and you end up making $70,000, that's probably worth it. Or where I'm at, if you spend $2,500, you make $50,000, that could be good as well. But you don't just have to send postcards. You can also knock on doors. You can do skip tracing. There's multiple ways for you to find. And we haven't even got into like networking and other things that you can be doing. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. If not, hit me up here. Anthony, vacant houses and REOs are my chosen niche on Investor's Edge. It seems like I would have an answer right away instead of waiting for a blanket mail, postcard, voice broadcast. You know, Anthony, it's a numbers game. I like vacant houses. I agree. Out-of-state owners and non-owner occupieds, you can do just as well. The out-of-state owners, the non-owner occupieds are really good because they're landlords and you're just trying to hit them at the right time. So I wouldn't rule those out. I will tell you that REOs can be more difficult. So if I was in your shoes, I'd re-look at the REOs. Not saying you can't do it, but try and focus in on just a few. You may want to look at the non-owner occupieds and swapping that out for the REOs. Something to think about. And it's different by area, guys. That's why this is hard. It's trial and error. I want to give you the tools and the resources and those things, but you're going to have to make things work in your area. And not only is that trial and error based upon where you're investing, not just the zip code you're investing, but what competition you have, your skill levels, all those things all come into the equation. The new problem is, what if I ask for an assignment? Say I want a wall built in. They would tell me it would take 100 pieces of wood. Then it takes in the 70. Yeah. So Vanessa, what I do? Great question. What I do is we give our members a bid sheet. And we have them bid out the full project, not just the materials. And we have that do it line by line by line. You should check it out. It's our members get access to it. But it really helps because then it's bid by the job, not based upon the materials. So you can prevent that quite a bit. And then we also have contracts. So check out we have contracts. Our members can use those. We have contracts for the general contractor. We have bid sheets for the general contractor. And when we do the loan, our project manager meets and does a virtual tour with the contractor. And in addition to that, they do a pricing meeting with the contractor to make sure they're not charging, the prices aren't too low so you don't end up with getting a cost overrun. So that should be helpful. John posted our Burr livecast link, so it should be helpful. Chris, I asked before you showed all of that great feature. Okay, good. Timothy, we've got your zip code in there. The free trial, we sent that out, so if you haven't already taken advantage of it, do it. The question above is an additional message about the contractor. I hope, Vanessa, that answers your question on the contractor. TR, REO properties usually are not deals. Yeah, I agree, TR. I wouldn't say always, but you've got to be careful with that. This is back to Anthony's comment, so I think that'd be helpful. Anthony, I am ready. I've been watching and doing the lessons, but I'm nervous and scared to pull the trigger on making offers. Here's the cool thing about making offers, Anthony, is as long as you have your due diligences in place, it doesn't matter. And so what I would say, make thousands of offers, make an offer to everybody. It's like, do you want an offer? 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 Just make offers to everybody. And here's something you can do, Anthony, to get over the initial scare. Just make an offer on a house that's listed, or make an offer on a house just down the road, as long as you don't know who they are, just to kind of get over the nerves of that. But then make offers all the time. Because once you get that offer under contract, you're going to send it to us. We're going to look at it. We're going to make sure we feel like the values are there. We're there to double check everything you're doing as you go through it. I think the biggest thing to be nervous about is spending money on marketing. because you can really mess that up if you don't handle the calls right. So I think just start spending a little bit, spend $100 and get some postcards and try and get a couple calls or do some voice broadcasts and that type of stuff. You are going to have upset people on voice broadcasts, just to warn you. We should maybe do a whole session on voice broadcasts. But Anthony, nothing ventured, nothing gained, man. You got to start somewhere. The nerves are legit. They're real. You probably haven't heard the story of my first property. We don't have time for all of it, but next week, remind me to talk about my first offer. I was scared to death. I almost didn't do it. Changed my life that I did. Don't be scared, Anthony. Go for it. Make sure the numbers make sense. And Tiara, you're right. That's why the advanced deal analysis is so great, because it does those numbers for you. Chris, what is the regular price of Investor's Edge after the trial? Call our guys. It's part of a full package, so we don't sell things a la carte. It's part of our membership that we include that, so you can check it out, Chris. But give us a call, and you're welcome to give us a call even before you even get the trial if you want to. It's not a big deal. Thanks, Tiara, for the confidence. Yeah, Anthony, I love this. Look at this. How do we pay wholesalers to give us a deal? Do we add that number in the loan? Yes, Tiara, you do. So basically, you're saying, hey, I want to buy the property for $80,000. $70,000 goes for the property, and $10,000 goes to the wholesaler. We can do that as long as the values are there. We can do that. How would anybody start real estate if they have insufficient amount of funds? Does being a member cost money? Yeah, of course, Vanessa. Being a member costs money. I think you probably need to have around $5,000 to get started in real estate. That's on the lower end, but I think that's a good place to get started. If you don't have that, I recommend that you start finding properties by using these same techniques. You're just going to have to put in more time. So if you don't have any money at all, you need to go and find some properties that are off-market properties, knock on some doors, get some contracts, and wholesale it. If you can find one of those deals and wholesale it to somebody, you could get paid $5,000 to $20,000, and then you'll have some seed money to then buy these types of materials, become members, do those different types of things. So basically, the more money you have, money equates time. If you have money, it goes faster, it goes easier, and you have more resources. If you don't have money, you're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to grind more so that you can get there, because the money is basically buying you convenience and buying you speed. So I hope that's helpful. And if you're interested in the membership, give us a call and we can go over that. DoHardMoney.com/get started. If you're interested, get a copy of our Investor's Edge trial. DoHardMoney.com/IE-free-trial. We put a link in the chat as well. If you enjoyed these, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and tell somebody about it. It makes a big difference. For next week or for other trainings you'd like to see in the future, please chat in. What would you like to see? We've got the list sitting here on the screen. If you can just chat that down, we'll put that in for future trainings. Okay, if you enjoyed what you heard today, please share the link on YouTube with friends or several friends. And also check out my Income Hacker podcast. You can check it out. And it's great. If you're listening to a podcast, check out Income Hacker. We go into depth on these things and other financial things. Okay, so let's see. How are the wholesalers paid? We talked about that. Let's see. How are wholesalers paid at closing or at the closing? Yeah, they get paid at the closing as part of the deal closing, Tiara. So basically, when you close on the property, the seller gets their money, the wholesaler gets their money, the whole closing happens. So the title company or closing attorney is basically where that happens. Venusa is, so $50K is great amount. Venusa, $50,000 is a fantastic amount to get started. You can get a great return. Okay, our winner is, let's talk about this. Our winner for last week, and we'll be giving away next week's, which is all these comments today, Leroy Clemens. Leroy Clemens, we're going to be sending out our whole packet out to you. Please give props to Leroy. Oh man, what just happened? I just lost my whole screen. Here we go. Let's get back down here. Guys, these take a lot of work. So if you're enjoying them, make sure you hit that like button. Leave us some comments. Okay. There's a trial. Here we go. Our winner is Leroy Clemens. And Leroy, what you need to do is email support@dohardmoney.com. Put in the subject line, you're a swag winner. Put in your cell phone number, your mailing address, and your screen name, and we will send out this swag box to you. Please, everybody, congratulate Leroy on winning our swag box of the week. And all your comments from today and for the rest of the week on our recorded videos, our YouTube channels, all of that will be going to next week. So we'll be sending out a swag box as well. Join us next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here and we'll dive into some new stuff. I appreciate, let's see here. We've got a bunch of stuff. Venusa says, great job, Leroy, on being our swag winner of the week. Leroy, are you on the call? If so, love to hear from you. Jenna, just wondering how much cash we need besides the initial $3K to get started. I think $5,000 is a great starting point to get going. The more you have, the easier it is. The less you have, the more work, the longer it will take, and the more effort you'll have to do. Tiara, the title company won't pay them because they don't have a license. So Tiara, that's going to be a statewide question. So they may need to close on the property and become the owner and then sell the property to you. So they may need to use flash cash in that scenario, Tiara. I don't know all the details, but that might be something to look into. Anthony, great job to Leroy. Fantastic. Kendall, congrats to Leroy. Martin, sales skills. Yeah, sales skills are super important when it comes down to these stuff. Tiara says, congratulations to Leroy. Hooray for Leroy, says Chris. Guys, thank you for the interaction today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of this live cast. If you find it valuable, please share it with other people, and we will catch you next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, next Tuesday. CJ says, thanks for the live cast. Great job. Thanks, CJ. That means a lot to me. Please keep the comments rolling, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.